Breakfast and Body Slams fans, thank you for tuning in to Devereaux Sports' second anniversary. We have a special treat for you. This is our Patriotic show. We're not going to touch on the base of what's going currently on in the world of wrestling. If it just so happens to cross our path in this topic of subject, we will get to it. But first and foremost, we want to pay tribute to everyone of the victims and families out there of 9/11 with a 10-second moment of silence, please. All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to give the cheap plugs as usual, but this is not our regular show that you see us on. You see the three of us as well as Dennis Reaper and our buddy T. Reyes weekly on our Thursday Night Slam podcast, where we bring you guests, and afterwards we do freestyle discussion of what's going on in the world of wrestling, which happens every Thursday at 9:05. You can check us out exclusively if you go to BodySlams.pro and you click on our podcast section. You can check us out on pretty much a lot of social medias as far as Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you just go to the website, it will stream live off of Twitch there. You can listen to us on all different platforms as well. If you're on the go, on the run, and you want to listen to Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, as well as Stitcher, Radio Republic, Google Podcasts, and a whole bunch of other ones where our show is being distributed. And as well, you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, especially Twitter at BodySlams PCast. That's right, because you might get a notification that we might go live for an impromptu show that can happen anytime, anywhere, which we just started our impromptu show called Pop-Up Pipe Bombs. That's right. Matter of fact, today I just might do another broadcast live from North Jersey. I have an event up there today, so we might get another episode of Pop-Up Pipe Bombs. But right now, you are listening to Breakfast and Body Slams, the Prime Show. That's right, Austin. Welcome to the Prime Show. Not like I know Cheese Whiz Chucky. He likes to call himself the A Show and all that, but that's all good, you know. Step up, kid. You're getting better. Oh yeah, and don't forget about our merchandise. If you notice, I got the Breakfast and Body Slams t-shirt, and also just added the other yesterday was our Thursday Night Slams. So you can go on there and grab from any one of our pod shops for podcasts, pod shops, either through Cafe Press or Spring. I would say go to Spring right now. Currently, we're still working stuff out with Cafe Press, but different merchandise on each site. Nice quality, affordable too, and but yeah, let me just give the cheap plugs to the rest of the Devereaux team. Wednesday nights, you get to see the Combat Misfits at 6 p.m. Thursday Night Slam at 9:05. And on Saturdays, well, which today you got to see the Old School Show at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., the Scrapple Boys with Austin, Chucky, and we seen John in there with you too as well.
He looked like he was ready for another nap.
Yeah, he looked
at the tail end of that.
I was wondering, is he staying awake?
Currently now, like I said, Breakfast and Body Slams. Tomorrow, you get to see the Gobbler Inc. at 9 a.m., Combat Misfits once again at 10 a.m., and the Sullivan Squad at 11 a.m. And I already mentioned about us, the Pop-Up Pipe Bombs. But what about our redheaded stepchild of the group of Devereaux Sports? Yes, I feel your pain there, Mikey.
The podcast for the team that left Tom Brady with too much time on the clock.
Oh, yes. Them 215 boys. That's right. It is a Dallas Cowboys podcast team on a Philadelphia-based podcast show of Devereaux Sports. But it's all right. We're not gonna hate. Every village needs an idiot, and we got ours. so, but with that being said, let's jump right into things. This is our patriotic show. So, God bless America. God bless the USA. Like America, USA, same place. I think. Maybe different continents. I don't know. I know, it gets people thinking.
About it.
The mental math is hurting already.
I had to throw that out there. I'm like, hold up, ain't they the same location? I don't know. Okay, dumb blonde, we got you. But yeah, going
Look,
back.
take it easy. This blonde has died.
Okay. All right, the carpet matches the drapes. Maybe
No.
I don't know.
Wow.
All right. So anyway, gentlemen, what was some of your patriotic heroes growing up? The farthest back that you guys can remember.
Oh man.
I mean, I feel like the slam dunk is Hulk Hogan.
Oh, definitely.
That's like the truest slam dunk
probably
of them
the
all.
first, is the name that comes to everybody's
Yeah,
mind,
of course.
obviously. But I also think of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, man, the feud he had with the Iron Sheik, and oh my God, and Sergeant Slaughter, and
Oh man.
yeah,
Good old
man.
cross-eyed Duggan, they called him back in the day. Me, I would have to say my first choice would have to be none other than the drill sergeant himself, Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Of course,
You maggots.
he had some of the greatest battles and feud back then with guys like you probably never heard of, like Colonel Devereaux.
No, I've never heard of
He
that
was
one.
like how would I say? He was like militant militia type,
Okay.
like the army, the version of Sergeant Slaughter before the bad guys.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, them two really had some great battles there, as well as you mentioned already the Iron Sheik. You know,
Yes.
now Sheiky baby, as everyone calls him on the internet. I think his Twitter handles that too.
Yeah.
Sheiky
Yeah,
baby,
yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
as well. He's a great guy. He's funny as hell, but in the world of professional wrestling, back then, not now, you automatically hated the villains. The villains.
Yeah, yes, you did.
What was your who was your go-to villain back then with Hacksaw? Of course, you said Sheik, right?
I think, yeah, that's what I believe I said. Wow. Back then. God. I'm going to say, Sheik was one of them. Nikolai Volkov, he was another big heel that it was like, somebody beat him
Hands
up.
down, that combination of Sheik and Volkov, it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
classic, especially when Volkov's out there. He's doing the Russian national
Yeah,
anthem.
yeah.
He probably gets through the first couple bars, and then Sheik grabs the mic and spitting in it, saying, Russia #1, Iran #1, USA up. You know, and time goes on. Eventually, they separated, and Volkov ended up getting himself a new partner, which is Boris Zukov, the Bolshevik.
Yes, I remember
And
that.
I love that there because it was a nice classic Russian tag team. Like when you go back as the Kolovs, Ivan, Nikita, they had Khrushchev with them as well. So for y'all that don't know, Crusher just happens to be Demolition Smash for a lot of people. Oh, look at you! You look surprised.
Man. Oh, man.
Yeah, so when it comes to having patriotic gimmicks in the world of professional wrestling, it seems to be a revolving door. It happens only very so often. Not many are doing it at the exact same time. There's very few. Now, I mentioned Boris Zukov. I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but back in the day, Sergeant Slaughter had a private by the name of Terry Daniels. That was Boris Zukov.
Oh, really?
Yes. He was a U.S. military. He had the gimmick and stuff like that.
Oh.
And then years later, he became Boris Zukov.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I might have to look it up. It's pretty good stuff.
That's neat. I love stuff like that.
I recently just watched interview with Sergeant Slaughter, and he was telling us about some of this stuff going forward when he left and came back as the Iraqi sympathizer.
Oh, yeah. When he
He didn't necessarily, when he was describing it, it wasn't necessarily, he didn't turn his back on America. He didn't turn his back. He loved America, but the character was that he was showing that the America of today compared to yesteryear was weak. It was weak, and and he couldn't stand that and this and that. But it was all the gimmick. It was the character, because like I said, he loved America hands down. I know in one of the promos they mentioned one of the commentators were off camera, and they were saying that, oh my God, Sergeant Slaughter, he's burning an American flag. He's setting a flag on fire. And Slaughter's just like walking by, and he's like, what the hell? No, I'm not. And he's like, cut. He's like, luckily it was just recorded. So he was really against it. Like, no, you cannot have me being portrayed as I'm burning American flag. That's a no.
Yeah, no way.
For what he stands for. Because honestly, the gimmick of Sergeant Slaughter was not a gimmick. He was actually a Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
He'd been to war and stuff. So it only made it natural for him to jump into that character.
Right, because he was heel at that time. And I remember he said that doing that character, it was kind of dangerous for him because he got like actual like death threat notes and all kind of nasty mail.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they literally had to like sneak him out of the building and places like that.
Yeah.
There was one time where he was out to dinner or lunch or whatever, and I guess the owner of the restaurant, and this is the time when he was doing the gimmick, and it's like his money ain't good here. He should. I guess he pulled up his sleeve. The owner had a Marine tattoo on there. So he's like to his wife, like, I think we better go. But Sarge had a lot of great matches. He had boot camp match with someone who, I'm not gonna say it was a foreign villain, even though he is from Canada, but it was against Pat Patterson. That was hell of bloody match there. And what's some of the other patriotic characters that we got to see throughout the years? Ken Patera was another one.
Yes.
Great guy. Too bad it led down a road of where him being incarcerated.
Yeah.
And then came back years later. We also had guys like Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Yes.
For that Lex Express run. What was your thought of him when you seen him in WCW as the total package? Then he comes over here as the narcissist.
Yeah.
Then and before the narcissist, they had him doing shoots of videos of what was that bodybuilding thing
I was just thinking of that.
Mr. Universe?
No, the IBF or whatever. It was Vince McMahon wanted to do his own bodybuilding type, like you know how Vince gets. He tries to make his own football league.
Tries to do all sorts of different gimmicks. On top
so
of
he had his own bodybuilding type.
I never
thing
knew
going
about
on.
that.
And I think it was IBF. I'm not sure, but Luger was doing promos for that, and then he came in as narcissist.
Yeah.
Then eventually, by hook or crook, they switched them automatically, all because of Yokozuna.
Yeah. I was going to bring that name up.
They had that body slam challenge going on, and next thing you know, no one could get the slam in. So next thing you know, you got Lex coming in from a helicopter, walking to the ring. A lot of people saying it's a hip toss. He didn't get Yoko up all the way, but they're just gonna call it because he got him up off his feet and slam. But it wasn't like it was like all the way up, holding him up here, and then come crashing down.
It wasn't like the Hogan on Andre style where his feet went completely.
When his feet are facing the ceiling.
You know what? No. But it kind of also pays tribute to nobody could pick up Big John Studd and slam him, and here comes Andre, and he picks him up and slams him. You know? So that's pretty neat to see that carry on throughout the years.
Now everybody hands down always loved Hulk Hogan. Before he was doing the whole red and yellow stuff, he had like the white tights or black, and he had the white shirt that said American Made and stuff. And back then he was coming out to songs like Eye of the Tiger.
Well, yeah.
And then time went on, and then he stowed Real American away from the I'm not gonna say Polo Orndorff, because originally it was meant for the U.S. Express, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo,
that goes way back.
Right there is another patriotic tag team, which they feuded with Sheik and Volkov plenty of times back and forth. I'm surprised that WCW did not pair them up again.
Yeah, right.
In WCW or NWA at the time before WCW took over. Because it's like for me a little bit is like my memory's a little fogged, where I try to remember where it switched over from NWA to WCW, but at the same time they were at the same time too at one point too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but then we had a lot of patriotic guys throughout the years, and some more of the villains that touched base, that you had to have a certain villain match a certain babyface patriotic guys. Like we already said, we had Slaughter and Sheik.
Yeah,
it was like a nice combination. Well, then again, you also had Corporal Kirshner and Volkov.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Now Kirshner, for you guys don't know, he actually went overseas to Japan and he started performing as Leatherface. Had a chainsaw and everything.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
But through time, just like guys like Tiger Mask, that gimmick got switched over to other people as well.
The torch kept getting passed down.
Yeah. So right now there is a guy over there who's currently performing under that character. And we got to see ones like Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, the American
Dream.
The American Dream.
Any thoughts on Dusty, how he fits in as American Dream?
Well, his theme song, as soon as he came out, got you. It was like, I forget who sang it, but the way it just started, American Dream, and you knew.
I'm gonna cut you off right now, Austin. What do you got for me?
Honestly, just the fact that he was like that very very like proper sounding Southern gentleman kind of thing, just gave it that whole the whole very homely type of feel to him.
Have either one of you watched the Dusty Rhodes biography, the DVD? Or
it's been a long time.
It's either yes or no, dude.
It's
you're gonna say a long time. Does that mean no?
No, it means yes. It's been a while though.
Well, when you think about it, Dusty, when he comes down, he's cutting his promos. He's the son of a plumber.
Yeah.
He's the man. He's out there working for the common man, and that's why the American people loved him, because he was one of them, the blue collar worker type of guy. He
just seemed like an everyday dude.
And that was before WWF, before he had the American Dream song and doing the polka dots, going way back in NWA, when he's cutting those promos. Just like nowadays, you see NWA, they put the title on Trevor Murdoch, and people are making a comparison of him to Dusty as like he's the common guy, the common man. He's not some big buff built guy. He don't have the blonde hair like Ric Flair. He's not there. You know, Willin and Dylan, Kiss Dylan, whatever. You know,
Rolex wearing.
Yeah, yeah. Dusty's one of us. You know, and he's and he's showing that, you know, like you said, that Southern that Southern pride of was it North Carolina? Is he from?
Yeah, I think it was North Carolina. I
Texas.
believe.
It's I cannot remember location wise, but yeah, he's one of them guys who like in later on in life you have Steve Austin.
Right. I was gonna say
his character. Yes, he was a foul mouth, beer drinking, but he represented the regular guy,
the hard-working guy.
Yeah, the hard-working guy that's out there to
represented your everyday American.
Before I did this, I was working in a warehouse, and I was going back and forth. It was going to be, am I going to work in a warehouse for the rest of my life, or am I going to go out there and be Stone Cold?
But
be Steve Austin?
Before that, you know, he was that blonde hair, robe wearing, cocky, arrogant.
Yeah,
I'm like, it was good for a while, but then, you know, things progressed, things changed, and then when he hit the Stone Cold era of himself, then it comes full circle of who he is.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a guest. Guest walking in here. Not the. Yeah. We got to move this over here a little bit. You got to give him that chair. Oh. Let me grab that chair there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to switch this over here. We have a late arrival. Let me just switch up the headphones. I really don't need the headphones, really, honestly, because it's just us in here. Can you hear me on this one?
Oh yeah.
All right, we're still good to go. Yeah, we're on our kicks about patriotic gimmicks, and we got Dennis Reaper in the house, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, he's here live and in color like the American Dream. I don't know if you were catching some of us on the way here.
I was watching the whole thing. I just couldn't get a link to join in with you guys. So.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to see you rode in
Good to
here.
see you, Dennis.
Yeah, I almost turned around and went back home.
Oh, so well,
it sounded like you were ready to do that.
Well, today's my last day in studio.
Oh.
Done. I'll say it that way. I love you guys, but I'd rather
pop up, play bomb.
Yeah.
And well, it's not only that though. You have another commitment with Reap the Future now.
I do. We're gonna start filming that soon.
Yeah. So,
but no,
but you got your hands full. Plus, you still on Thursday nights with us too as well. So, but it is what it is. Like I said, you got your hands full with other projects, and now Reap the Future will be broadcasting itself as well.
Yep.
So that's a plus.
But no, I was tuning in. It was fun. I was enjoying it. Listening to everything. I don't know half these. I totally forgot the U.S. Express though.
Wow.
Honestly. Like, dude, I went through the list and I'm like, hold on. How did I forget that group? like I feel like an idiot forgetting the U.S. Express.
Here's a question mark that I have. It's not really a question mark, but a star I have down on my list as far as were they a real patriotic group or what? Team Angle. They were with Kurt Angle.
Right.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
they
was
had
Kurt
the
Angle,
gimmicks,
Shelton
and this and
Benjamin,
that,
Charlie Haas.
But at the time, they were heels.
Yeah.
So
right, so there's those American gimmicks that were, they were heels.
They wasn't really going up against anyone who's a villain, a foreign villain of anything. When you look at it, so I'm like, just because they had the gimmicks, would you classify them as a patriotic gimmick though? That's the thing though, because that's what I'm basing.
Well, I mean, look
my
at
list off of because of who you're working with. Are you working against a foreign adversary, and then you're doing stuff like flag matches, and you got the crowd chanting USA, USA? We haven't seen that with Team Angle at all.
No.
Yeah, no, we never saw that with them.
I would not really base it besides just the gimmick of wearing the colors of Kurt Angle.
That's true.
Okay, all right. That's
a gimmick that we could go back to is Jack Swagger when he, put the hand on his chest. Everybody,
now, the All-American.
Now that was legitimate.
Yes.
Because he had Zeb.
Yeah.
Zeb.
We the people. The most over gimmick in the history of being anti-American almost.
Yo,
And it was great.
for ones that don't know Zeb, if you look back in history, he's one of the meanest, dirtiest sons of guns. Oh my God, I want to curse so bad there for a second there, but yeah, Dirty Dutch Mantel.
Yeah, that's it. I was trying to
Old
think
school.
of it.
You can I think some of his best work that he has done had been over in Puerto Rico, because him over there with the colognes and stuff like that with WWC, it was just straight hatred and stuff like that. He produced, but yeah, he's a great mind. He knows the business and everything. Yes. But when they did this, was it All American? Yeah, the All American Jack Swagger.
Yeah.
It was like
I have it right here.
It was the whole "Don't tread on me" gimmick and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when you stop and think, like, okay, well, this is
it was the All-American Jack Swagger.
That's what it was.
I literally have it pulled up for the top 10.
The
John Cena's on that list, by the way.
with that "Don't tread on me" flag type gimmick. There is like basically. It was more like Republican, Trump stuff, and a lot of people got behind it. I get behind him as being now. Here's the part I don't understand. Was it legitimate or was it WWE's idea of throwing him? Do you think?
I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard. It is
one
hard
of those
to tell.
like, did they work the boys or did they not work the boys?
And back then,
all we know is it worked.
Thing is, when you know you can work the boys and get away with it, you're doing a hell of a job.
Look, but I love it at the same time.
You know what? One thing I want to ask you is what is some of your least recognizable patriotics out there? Ones that never really got their really big shot. They were there, maybe in WWE or WCW, but they didn't get the push of the guys like Kirshner, Slaughter, Angle.
Right.
Nowadays, honestly,
Well, it doesn't have to be just.
I mean, I'm
nowadays.
just because of the fact that like I've really been watching a
'Cause
lot
you're
more
young,
recent
so-
stuff, and,
so we'll go with
and
that.
because I am the youngest one in the room. Honestly, when it was what was the one dude's name? It was Chad Gable and
Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
American Alpha. Yeah.
That was a
Legit U.S. Olympic wrestlers, and
and they
nothing. No.
Yeah, it was flat.
Here's the
It's
thing:
so flat.
they would have. I think it would have worked if they would have did the angle with them.
Yeah,
If they would have put angle with those two guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you would have
They
had
definitely would've
another
been so
Shelton
over,
Benjamin,
yeah.
Charlie Haas.
Oh yeah.
But the 2.0 version, a little bit better, younger, can go just as good as those two, and then you bring back in Charlie Haas with Shelton Benjamin to go against their old manager and wrestler, which would have been, in my opinion, a great tag team match, because it's the fight between who's really Team Angle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Team
exactly.
Angle 1 or Team Angle 2.
Well, now there's a little bit of, I'm not going to say it's controversy. It's a little debate back and forth between certain people with WWE's most newest signee. People are trying to compare him to
Cable Stevens.
He's never going to be Kurt Angle. I'm going to say right now.
That's the problem. Everyone's trying to compare him to Kurt Angle right now.
But here's the thing. Ready? I've eaten my words this month. Right? I said certain things weren't going to happen on television, and boy, was I proven wrong. I eat my own words. I'm man enough to admit that. I said it wasn't going to happen, and sure enough, both of them show. Ruby Riott was the one I didn't say. I said wasn't showing up there. I said she was showing up in New York.
On that. We're like,
Yeah.
no way, she's in New York.
You're calling her the Runaway. Runaway is in New York. That's where I thought they threw me the curveball. Am I happy as hell as Ruby in AEW? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And I know her from the indie scenes and Jakara, so having her win that match, that was great. But I ate my own words. Now, can I be proven wrong that this guy ain't going to be the next Kurt Angle? Absolutely. He might be that guy. He could possibly be Kurt Angle 100%.
That's true. He'd be the new
If he got
American
signed,
gimmick.
it's because of Kurt. Not just because he went to the Olympics and and stuff like that, but it's because Kurt's scouting real wrestling. That's exactly
Yeah.
what he's doing. That's who they have scouting. It's not WWE wrestling. It's real wrestlers going out to scout these guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of real wrestlers that can probably pull the whole patriotic gimmick off right now, Diamond Mine got that new team in NXT. Those collegiate guys.
Oh yeah.
I watched them. It's my first time. They some bad boys. I'm like, they're just strong. They're like manhandling.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm
Yeah.
like, if you have not watched it yet, Dennis, go back, watch NXT. Check out the new team with Dynamite. And yo, I think these boys here could probably pull it off. The setup, which I don't think it's a setup. Would set up. I can see them working with Gable and Otis.
Yeah.
I can see that doing some good business
Oh,
there
yeah.
between them.
And
because Gable with just about anyone is gold.
Yeah, because Gable's just the energy that he emits from himself is just 100% full go, all gas, no brakes all the time. And I just love that about Chad Gable.
Look, I wish Jason Jordan never hurt his neck. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That is one of the worst things. And I'm a wrestler, a real legit wrestler, not professional wrestling. I did it for my entire life.
Yeah.
I never got to go to college for it because I never didn't have that opportunity. But hurting when I stretched my ACL, my MCL, my meniscus, and I think the LCL or one of the other ligaments in my knee, my wrestling in school was done. I tried into high school. I could not do it. I couldn't do half the 90% of the stuff I got taught. Hurting your neck is 90% even worse.
Oh, yeah.
So it sucks that he can't wrestle. I would love to see him come back just one time off, come back, do it, and enjoy it. But we know he's done.
Yeah.
You know, is he completely done? No, because we all thought Edge was done, right? We all thought
That's
Kurt
true.
Angle
We
was
thought
done.
We all
Daniel
thought Christian
Bryan
was done.
But Daniel Bryan was head injuries, not neck injuries. That's
Yeah.
the difference. This is neck surgery. Kurt Angle's had how many now?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I mean, the dude won a gold medal
this
with a
is one
broken
of
freaking neck.
those- Can he somehow come back from that neck surgery? Sure. Edge proved that he can.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Angle's definitely proved that he can. He broke his neck, won a goddamn gold medal with a broken neck.
Yeah, and especially because you have to think, like, when Edge suffered his neck injuries, the medical technology was totally different then to what it is now.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
So,
and like he said in his documentary, like, he felt great before ever seeing a doctor. It was like, I was lifting weights, I was doing this, I didn't hurt.
yeah.
I felt amazing. So then I went and got double checked and kept getting cleared. And finally, the Pittsburgh doctors for Vince said, "You're good to go. You are in the best shape. That neck is in the best shape it's ever been."
Yeah.
So, like, this gentleman that WWE just signed, I'm hoping he proves me wrong. Like, is he a great wrestler? God,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I've watched his matches. And this
That
is
dude's an
real
animal.
wrestling. This isn't WWE style or indie wrestling or AEW. This is legit ground and pound brawler, throw you around to a hard concrete floor with padding that's this thick,
Yeah.
with no give. Wrestling rings have give, you know what I mean? We
Right,
have,
right.
We have, you know, the steel beams and the boards and the padding. It still doesn't feel good, but we have some give.
And trust me, in the world of wrestling, like there's a lot of legit badasses who have that wrestling background. Like when you go back and you look at guys like the Varsity Club, when you had, you know, Dr. Death, you have Mike Rotundo, Rick Steiner. Then Scott Steiner came in, and him and Rick, you know, just throwing people around themselves. And speaking of the Steiners, they were like one of the classic teams, especially when they did that big tournament with all the nations involved there. Now, here's my biggest gripe about it, which, like, okay, legitimately, as far as business wise, being I think it was it NWA or WCW when they did this when they did the pay-per-view with a tag team tournament. But when they did it, from a business standpoint, since it's being based in the U.S., obviously the Steiners are going over.
Yeah.
You know, but then you had all these other teams from all these different countries performing. Guys from Puerto Rico, right? I think the baddest team on there, honestly, would have been the Russians. they had. Like, and I don't mean the Russian gimmicks as far as like Ivan Nikita Koloff. They had the legit Russian shooters in this tournament. I think they would have wrecked everyone, even including the Steiners, hands down. I'm sorry.
I can believe that.
Because when I went back and watched it again not too long ago, I'm like, okay, yay, Steiners. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. You're cheering for the USA team.
Yeah, right.
But when you legitimately look at something like even when you're at a competition, when you're in school, like you see other, like, even though you want your team members to win, you see guys on the other team. They're like, oh, I'm rooting for him. He's gonna kick my boy's ass.
Look,
but I'm gonna root because he's
I never did it when it was just one school versus another school. Now, when we would do the meets on the weekends,
the tournaments with everybody involved.
Look, I don't care who was on my team. I would see some of these guys. We'd walk in, and I'd be like,
"That dude's a unit.
I gotta face you." Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not BSing. Like, I'd go like. You'd have the sheets all on the wall. Here, I'll use these. So, like, you'd have everybody's sign-ins and your names in the brackets, and I go down. Okay, there I am. I'm match, like, 55 on mat 12, and then I'd see the guy that walk up, and he goes, oh, that, and then he would say his name, and like, I gotta face you? and I mean, I legit said it to some people, and they were like, why? I'm like, dude, you have me beat by, like, 3 feet, and, like... the hell am I doing? Yeah. Like, I am short as hell. All right. And somehow I'd win because I was like,
lower center of gravity.
I already did, just made myself beat myself, kind of a deal. But there'd be other guys at these tournaments too. I'd sit in the bleachers like, oh, that dude's going to wreck that midget. like, this is going to be good. I'm going to enjoy this beating. And I would literally go from the top of the bleachers down to the floor just to watch this beating happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because... dude, when you go to these tournaments, you got 400 or 500 wrestlers in one building. You know, it's the lightweights that are the best ones, the 110s and the 115s. Like, those are the weight class you want to watch. The bigger boys are great. You know, we don't do much.
But the 110s, the 115s
it's
are like
the guys
the dudes
that are
with
really rolling around and going.
Yeah, those are the dudes with the chips on their shoulder too.
Dude, I remember in middle school, I had a guy named David Little or David Luthi. He was like 5'2". He was a short little kid, like 95 pounds, okay?
Ooh.
So, like, there was times that he'd go up against people that were, like, 4 feet taller than him. And we'd all look and be like, just think of it this way, Mr. Smurf guy. You're taking down the villain. And he'd be like, screw yous. And he would win because we're making fun of him. Mm-hmm. But it's like, because we're calling you a Smurf. That's why you're mad. It's not because you're little. It's because we called you a Smurf.
Exactly.
Like... dude, wrestling then is fun. That's wrestling I could watch all day long. Like when Penn State's on TV, dude, if I could watch their collegiate wrestlers, absolutely, I'm all in. Does not matter. I will watch it while I'm at work. But if WWE could get real wrestlers like this that could actually get it and are, you know, charismatic and have that persona that Kurt Angle had, then the doors are open. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
There's no stopping WWE at that point because then you have. They're not models. They're not movie stars. They're not actresses. No offense, Vince. Stop booking and hiring these people. Hire real hire people that get it. You can hire an actor all you want. But what does that do for you? Nothing. Oh, you're good on a microphone. You're good on TV. Great, but you suck in the ring. I'm not going to pay to watch you in the ring if you suck. I'll pay to watch you in the ring if you're good.
Yeah.
So when you bring these collegiate wrestlers in, right, and these Olympic athletes in, I'm expecting to be good. They got the girl from American Ninja Warrior, right? Mm-hmm. She is phenomenal in the ring.
Yeah.
Because she's an athlete.
Right.
First. She's not an actor. She's not an actress. She's an athlete. You want athletes. That's what wrestling is. It's an athletic sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
Without that, I don't tune in. Like, I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. You know why? Because I'm bored. Sometimes I'll watch AEW, right? And I get bored.
It happens because wrestling has its high and low peaks. Depends on what brand you're watching, you know, and if they have any new talent that's interesting. One thing that's been just popped up in my head, running through my thoughts. What is your thought process on how the United States Championship in pro wrestling nowadays is being dealt with compared to yesteryear? Like, yet you had all these great champions back then.
Right.
All right, yeah, guys like Barry Windham, Magnum TA, and back then when you had someone take. You right there? You look a little.
His
Oh,
microphone's all floppy.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wing it.
But then when you had guys like Nikita Koloff start taking it and stuff like that, or like even when Rusev, when he first got the U.S. title and stuff like that, it was more or less, hey, the evil villain, anti-American type whatever, has the championship now, and it's the job for whichever patriotic guy to come in, get the title back, get the crowd chanting USA, USA. But nowadays, it seems like anybody can have it, the U.S. title. Now it's like it's almost like it doesn't mean a damn thing. You know, it's like it's like
that's what I was saying.
it's like a foreigner can have the championship, but it's not like, we got your USA title.
Yeah,
it's not
anymore.
like that no more.
No,
Because
no.
WWE doesn't run the show.
Yeah, the U.S. championship has become like a mid-card title at best.
All the
Yeah.
time.
And there was
I
there was
agree.
there was a point in like the early 2000s to like 2010. It was a main card title.
Oh yeah.
Like Bobby Lashley held that thing for a long time,
Yes,
and
he
he was
did.
a dominant U.S.
It's because he
champion.
was legitimate.
Yeah.
That's the again. This
Yeah.
is where that whole athletic comes
Exactly.
into it. There, you need people that are legitimate, people that can hold a title. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring up the 24/7 title. I love it, right? Because it's giving these guys that don't get the opportunity to actually go after something. Because
Yeah.
your heavyweight, your U.S., your intercontinental, and your your 4 major titles. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like pro sports. Your major title is the championships, right?
Yep.
You have your
Right.
Super Bowl, right? You have your AFC and your NFC champions, right? Then you have your division champions. Those are your legit contenders. It's not the guys that are like 0-16 the year before and 3 and whatever.
Yeah.
It's the teams that always have a winning record. Those are your contenders. Those are your legitimate wrestlers.
Right.
Okay, same in any sport. That's the problem in wrestling now. Now you have all these guys, but you have nothing for them.
Do you?
So now you're going to give people U.S. titles that people don't look as legit.
No, and then when you see places like New Japan Pro Wrestling with their U.S. title, what's your interpretation of that though? Because one, it's not a American-based company at all. It's Japan, and I guess they just popped it up just to, I don't know if they just want to have it because they got a shitload of titles themselves as well. You'll figure it out. You'll figure that, Mike.
I'm done. It's fine. I just deal with it. It's fine.
There you go.
It'll hear me eventually. But no, so like the U.S. title, like you said, it has become something as a laughing matter.
It's a prop.
Yeah.
It's a
like,
prop now.
look,
but as far as Japan
titles
goes,
are that though. That's the thing. Like titles are supposed to have like specialty to them, but titles now, the past 5 years, are 100% a prop.
which is why I think they need to just lose it. Get rid of the
I was going to say,
title.
can I be honest with you? I don't know who WWE's United States champion even is right now.
Damian Priest.
Yeah, Damian Priest is you.
That's
and the thing is,
that's
I
right.
like
He
it.
got
I like that
he
he's US
won it at
champion, right?
SummerSlam. That's right.
It's good that he is that because
Yeah.
he is legitimate a athlete.
Yeah.
You know, the whole Rusev thing. Like I liked when Rusev came in and won that title because it's a guy from Russia. That was his
Yeah,
gimmick.
yeah, that was great.
He's
That was
waving the flag. His wife's doing that voice as well. They put the whole package together,
Yeah.
the music and everything. It was all right there. It's set in stone for everyone to obviously automatically hate him,
Yes,
and that's
yes.
the whole point.
Hey, it's there.
There it is.
You got it.
I didn't want to keep messing with it while we were alive. That's why I was just going to
No, that's
deal with
alright.
it. But no, so like the Rusev thing, it pissed people off. I love
Yeah.
it. You got to stop doing things that don't piss people off. Like I get it, Vince. You have NBC and Fox running your shows. That's really the truth. That's what's going on, and you do what the board of directors and the stockholders want, and it's great
But
for
at
a
the
while.
same
But at
time,
the same time, I'm not trying to compare fruits and apples to everybody. Okay, I just won't.
Right.
But AEW does not give a shit about the status quo.
No.
Is it going to bite them in the butt down the road? Probably. because you can't keep doing things that are going to appeal to fans sometimes. Sometimes you have to do things that is a better business decision. Sometimes you have to give the fans something.
Yeah, a lot.
Do I believe they gave way too much on AEW's All Out with 4 different things? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we had Ruby Soho. We had
CM Punk's first match
we had
in 7
the King
years.
come out after freaking Mox.
Yeah.
You know, now you know what you're getting out of that. You know you're getting the Nick Gage and freaking Moxley title match. Should it be on AEW? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because it benefits GCW.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. They're bringing the deathmatch guys because Moxley's booking his own matches.
Oh yeah.
He wants Japan wrestlers because they have an agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's what they're going to give him.
Yeah, Mox just wants to have fun, and he's having the
The whole
time of
Adam
his life
Cole
right now.
coming out, and then out of nowhere it was like after he said what he said, and then you had
Bryan Danielson,
Brian Danielson. Like I loved it because I didn't expect it.
Right.
You know, I liked those curveballs. I thought Bryan Danielson was going to be the one that when the lights went out,
Yeah.
and then they threw me as soon as I heard the music before the name, I knew exactly who it was. I knew the song.
Yeah.
You know, Adam Cole has his own person that makes his entrance music,
Yeah.
and it's the same song that he had in NXT.
Yeah.
It's just a little different.
Yeah.
It's just a little tweak.
It's a very minor tempo change, a couple of notes changed, but
Yeah,
it's
but
the
that was
exact
it.
same thing.
That's the thing. It's like if you look at everything, right? Like the whole Patriotic, the U.S. title. That's one thing that sets them apart from AEW. Okay, you have how many titles in WWE now per show? You have the heavyweight, right?
The
You have
Universal.
Too many.
No. I'm just gonna go.
Just one
You
show.
have 2 heavyweight titles. So
Okay,
to
2
me, that's still one.
heavyweights, 2
Yeah.
women's.
Still one.
You have,
So you have heavyweight title, women's heavyweight title,
Intercontinental.
The women-
Intercontinental,
well,
and
US.
US,
We
right?
got a women's
And the
tag team now.
205 and 24/7.
Yeah.
7 championships.
Do they
For-
still have the Cruiserweight Championship?
Yeah, it's
205.
now on it's now on NXT.
That's right.
all
It
the
is
time.
on NXT, yeah.
But they use it every now and then for. I know they're doing it on tapings and house shows. I know that for a fact. People have been posting the 205 Live champions been on the house shows. That's their platform for them to build the NXT younger guys for that title. It's the
Yeah.
only way they can do it. AEW has the heavyweight, the women's, the tag.
Tag and the TNT title.
It's 4. Okay. AEW is keeping it very simple, very basic. They're not pushing the envelope much. Will they add trios? Yeah. They'll be the first major promotion besides AAA and Lucha down in Mexico.
Yeah,
do it.
especially,
And it'll be nice
especially now that
because
Adam Cole's there, they're definitely going to do a trios title.
you know, but there's not much title. They're keeping the prestige, the not just the passion, but the prestige of this is a special spot. Okay,
Right.
WWE has 7. Now, if you separate them, you have 2 women, two tag teams, 2 heavyweights for men, 2 heavyweights for women. That's 7. That's 6 right there itself.
Yeah.
Why? You don't need that many.
No.
Have 1 heavyweight champion, 1 women's champion, 1 tag team champion. Have the champions have to defend it on both shows.
Yeah, because you remember when they did when they unified.
You know what? That would actually
but
make
here's
it more
why they're doing
interesting
that.
to watch.
Too, and Jericho was the first undisputed WWE champion.
Yeah.
Like,
But again,
there was so much like build towards that whole thing because of the
And,
fact that
and
Jericho
it was a
back and
shocker
forth on
that he
multiple shows.
beat
Yeah.
both of them in one night.
Yeah.
But what you do is you put the U.S. So you have everybody separate, right? So you put the Intercontinental on Raw and you put the U.S. on SmackDown, or you swap them. You don't have to have those 2 champions on every show. You put the 3 major titles on every show.
Yeah.
Right.
So then you build that prestige and that legacy with those 2 titles. The IC title, in my opinion, is the most prestigious title in that company. So it's like, I wish it had more prestige than what it gets used to right now. Like, that's the downfall. The U.S. title, in my opinion, still has a lot of ground and it has a lot of
I think
power
with
to
the
it.
U.S. title, like back then, when like I said, when we had usually the heel and babyface version of who's the champion and you know who to hate and who to cheer for. Well, what got it twisted for me is when you had guys like Nikita Koloff holding the U.S. championship, and people were loving him.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
is when he was a babyface then, and he's holding the U.S. title against guys like Lex Luger, because Luger was the heel. He was a total package and stuff like that.
But since we're talking U.S. title, I'm gonna ask. Do you know when the U.S. title was brought in?
Well, you Googled it?
I have Wikipedia up. I've had it up for a while now.
Brought into where?
When was the no? Who was the original person to bring in the U.S. Championship?
Well, we know it wasn't Pat Patterson. He was the IC, in Rio de Janeiro, and man, hold up. Honestly, no, I can't say I do. I thought you would have it up already.
I do. NWA United States Heavyweight Championship, January 1st, 1975.
Wow.
Who was the
To
first?
January 27th, 1981.
Who was the first champion? Did it say?
Harley Race.
Wow. There goes a name.
Harley Race.
It's fitting. You know, he was a badass back then.
Like-
he was the NWA heavyweight champion too.
Let's look
as well.
at let's
He's
just
the
look
king.
at the champions that had the U.S. title. Because of today's patriotic show, like let's run down, and I guarantee you, a lot of those are on that list. So you had Harley Race, Johnny Valentine, Terry Funk, Paul Jones, Blackjack, Paul Jones again, Blackjack again, Paul Jones again, Blackjack again.
Yeah, but
did you get it?
And thing is though, we wasn't just going off of like
No, I know.
who was just like the patriotic gimmicks themselves, like right now, like on the indie scene, we have some close friends that are patriotic type guys, like the Patriot himself, not Del Wilkes, but there's another gentleman who's doing the Patriot. Like I mentioned before. As time goes on, there's other people who does the same gimmicks, whether it be Leatherface or Tiger Mask. Well, now we got the Patriot. And maybe in due time there'll be another Patriot eventually.
But
Kid America, really good guy.
I'm gonna see him later.
I love that
Now
dude.
I'm gonna see him later.
You can actually tell him we mentioned him. We made reference to
I mean,
that.
probably
to that
too.
gentleman.
He's already at. I'm just saying he's at a Phillies game. He's at Stadium.
Oh, okay.
That's where I'll see him.
Yeah, and then like some of the hills that we had growing up, like I was a huge fan of the Orient Express for a foreign adversary. I love the Orient Express. I don't know what your take on it is. But my version was the whole Kato and Tanaka one, not the one when they had who later on came back with the beard. I think he was Sinja, whatever. I think he managed Hakushi, the one of the original Orient Express guys. He had a beard, short hair, but Kato wore the mask, and Tanaka, he had the long hair.
I remember Tanaka.
And he worked barefoot. Another one that a lot of people did not even realize until it was put out publicly was Yokozuna. I'm like, for a big man his size, doing the things that he done, and out there just crushing the competition from the door, and you got Mr. Fuji out there.
Yep.
Coming,
Yeah.
like the whole bonsai, waving the flag. He's crushing guys like Tatanka, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and then Lex Luger comes along as we explained.
Yeah.
And but
BodySlams.
I don't think he took the no, he did not take the title. That's right. Luger never had the WWF championship.
No, he didn't.
So, but yeah, and then we got guys like on the indie. Well, actually, you know what? You know what one I do want to mention in that a lot of people do not talk about, and you probably don't even ever talk about this. Team Canada from WCW.
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
Like when you had, remember when Sergeant Slaughter did the whole turn with the simple
Yeah.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan when he shaved his beard and he joined Team Canada with Lance Storm.
Oh, God.
Lance Storm took the Canada sticker of the maple leaf, stuck it over the U.S. title, and he was like the Canadian champion.
Yeah.
Like I think he had other titles that he renamed, but that version of Team Canada I loved the most because Storm was a legit worker, and it was just funny as hell to see Hacksaw without a beard.
Yeah, oh
You
my
had
goodness.
two Team Canadas, you know that, right?
But this was my favorite one, the one.
So you like that one? I like the
one
TNA,
that-
the TNA
version.
one. Like TNA's one because no one liked them. Like no one liked Team Canada in the old day either. But no one liked the Team Canada one in TNA days because they didn't like half the guys. Mm-hmm. Like that was just that simple. Scott D'Amore was a mastermind on this right here.
He was.
This was his gold. This is like his Paul Heyman. So Team Canada, like any show that does Team Canada stuff,
Yeah, 'cause
has stuff that can go
Yeah,
good.
because TNA's Team Canada, you had Petey Williams on that.
Dude, you had Petey Williams, Robert Roode, Scott D'Amore, you had A1, you had Eric Young, Ruffy Silverstein, Teddy Hart, Tyson Docks, Johnny Devine, and you had Jack Evans. I don't know how the Jack Evans fit in there, but he was there. It's literally on their group as a member.
Jack Evans, he's from Canada.
I know, but they have him as a U.S. guy.
Didn't it?
I'm not joking.
oh.
It says U.S. flag, and that's why I'm making that comment.
Yeah,
I don't know
right?
how he fits in there. If he's a United
So it's a good thing that we brought up Team Canada because like through history, the most common type ones were either Russians, Middle Eastern,
Or some kind of Canadian team that you didn't like.
Japanese or Chinese, whatever type of Asian, and then Indian. And like here and it wasn't much Indian stuff really here and there. You hear about them being the villains, except until like
Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
and,
Jinder Mahal,
Great
yeah.
Khali.
and there was some other like Tiger Jeet Singh back then and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that, but not as popular as those other nationalities. And then Team Canada, like I said, they don't get a big push in that category as much since they're our neighbor to the north, as well as ones that are come from Europe as far as England, like the Blue Bloods. You know, you have William
Right.
Regal. When he
Oh
was,
yeah, that's
when he was
another
in
one.
WCW, he was teamed up with Dave Taylor, and that was great.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that William Dundee is actually superstar Bill Dundee from the old USWA when he used to feud like crazy with Jerry the King Lawler. But they put him in that spot, and it was a genius. It was great. I just love watching these guys. And another Canadian team that's not named Team Canada that got shit in the States here but not elsewhere around the world was the Hart Foundation.
Oh my God!
Yes.
When Bret Hart and they were like, "Oh, you Americans, everyone else in the other world, they love us and this and that. They're great people."
Yeah, well-
and it was just a nice little twist
Yeah.
in the whole
yeah.
of Bret Hart's character, the way he was. He was a true blue wrestler, which basically is still a part of that. It was like he was just looking at society as how it changed and this and that, like with the era of
right,
DX being
Yep.
involved,
Yep.
and guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was seeing how the downfall, how people were, just like how Slaughter was, where he was saying, "Oh, America's weak. That's why Saddam Hussein and this and that." So it's like nowadays with everything going on in the world, I don't know if we're gonna see any more of that type of situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say because in today's world it's a little sensitive.
If anything, it'll just be more of a Civil War type stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely see that.
Didn't
And it's-
WWF back when it was WWF, didn't they have like a French Canadian team that got a lot of heat?
Yes.
That
Lolly Stones, yeah.
Yes.
It was what were their names?
Wait,
Sylvain Grenier. And oh my God, who was the other guy?
I don't know, but I mean, listen, if
but
there was
Rob
a group I
Conway.
hated, there it is. Rob Conway.
No. Rob Conway came in later on. It was Savon and somebody else. I can't
Now I'm
remember
gonna
his
have
name.
to. I have to look
Because
at it.
look it up.
it was two of them. One left, and then
And then Rob Conway stepped in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, going back to something that you had brought up earlier, I did look it up. Jack Swagger was a Division I All-American wrestler.
See, I can't talk. See, unlike you guys, I can't really talk.
I just really
on
Rene
collegiate
Dupree.
type- yeah,
Rene
Rene
Dupree.
Dupree. That's it.
Sorry, I was like, I know it. I had Renee in my head. I couldn't think of
That's it.
Listen, I love that group, just to hate them.
because like
Just to hate them.
a lot of the times it was literally them against Team Angle.
Look,
It was
here's why I hated
always
them.
it was always either La Resistance burying Benjamin and Haas or the other way
Yeah.
around.
Look, the only reason I hated them is because they kept facing Kurt Angle in them, and I was a Kurt Angle fan from wrestling wise. It's like pro sports. I'm a Ravens fan. I hate the Steelers.
Gentlemen,
Y'all are Eagles fans and hate Dallas. That's why I hated them that much.
you know, as much as I do, I hate cutting anybody off, but we're getting the cue that we need to wrap it up. You know what? Thanks everyone for tuning into this Patriotic show. I'm sure we can talk about this. You know what? We can continue this conversation on Thursday night. How about that?
Or
Sounds
later
good.
today on a
Sounds good.
pop-up podcast.
Or later today. But yeah, don't
It
forget.
would probably be without me. I'm going to be indisposed.
All right, everyone, please do not forget to tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Starting off with the Gobbler Inc., followed up by with the Combat Misfits and the Sullivan Squad for the rest of Devereaux Sports' second anniversary podcast. This is Breakfast and BodySlams. I'm Chio, Austin, Mikey, and Dennis for joining us late. Thank you. I appreciate it. And don't forget to follow us, like, share, comment. Go to bodyslams.pro and peace out. Thank you.